So I feel like since Nebraska and I are friends, I feel like I should give them some sage advice. And I saw this morning a picture. Now I want to be upfront and honest. I have not seen Nebraska confirm that this is actually going to happen. But there's enough people on social media that I think this is real, Danny. I think this is real. So maybe I'm going to go on this entire thing and it's not going to be real. But based off a lot of the people that are commenting, people in our line of work, blue check marks, people I respect, it feels like this is real. But yesterday, there was a picture of what Nebraska is expected to unveil for their massive 50-year anniversary of the game of the century against Oklahoma on September the 18th. And based off this, they're calling it an alternative uniform called Little Red. And essentially, what this is, Danny, is it is a mock-up of their mascot, Little Red. And it has the Nebraska players in farmer overalls. I've never seen a uniform anything quite like this. It is without question, if this is real, the worst uniform I have ever seen in the history of sports. Okay? It is worse than bad. And here's the problem. Not only, if this is real, and this is my plea because we're friends, Nebraska, if this is real, get this to Scott Frost, please, because I love you, Scott. I got mad respect for you. I'm rooting for you guys this year. Don't do this to yourself. You're going into Norman against a really good Oklahoma team. There's a good chance that's going to go the wrong way for you. That's problematic already. On top of that, if you wear these uniforms into Norman, when you get drugged, it's going to be even worse. There could potentially be a revolt, I think, from the fan base, and you will be the laughingstock of college football, if not all of sports. So this is my plea this morning. This is my offering to a good friend that we haven't talked in a while, but I got an idea of what you might be wearing on a big showcase moment just over a month from now, and I'm here to tell you right now, if this is the plan, divert. Hit the eject button immediately. You cannot allow yourself to go out there in overalls as your uniform when you take on the Oklahoma Sooners and one of the legendary 50th year anniversary classic games, one of the greatest games of all time. So, Danny, what do you think? These things can't be real, I'm sure, but just in case they are, I'm doing my due diligence as a friend to not let them put themselves in such an awful and embarrassing situation.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about these uniforms. I don't think so I'm wondering, I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, right? Because these athletic departments have millions and millions of dollars, right? They invest a lot of money. Adidas, who is the outfitter for Nebraska, they have all kind of high-paid employees that design outfits, that run them by focus groups, that have them preview these uniforms that are potentially out there. I'm wondering if they look better from afar. Like if you're watching on TV and you see them in a group, do we not notice as much? Because the picture that I see is up close, and it's hard to describe. What I picture with it, because it's one of those built-in, it's not overalls, but it's supposed to be overalls, and they're sewn into the jersey on the top, but they're kind of seamless, right? Like there's no raised layer that are like overalls. But man, when I look at these, all I see is, do you know who Bart Connor is? He was a U.S. gymnast back in the Olympics, like in the 80s.
Danny.
And I remember watching one.
First of all, do you realize that about a mile and a half from here, it's Bart Connor School of Gymnastics?
I had no idea.
He lives in Norman. Yes, I know who Bart Connor is.
That is unbelievable. So I remember him on the pommel horse doing his routine. And you know what they wear? They wear those tight, leotards, essentially, is what they wear. That's what I see when I see this Nebraska Cornhusker uniforms. Now, I'm a fan of thinking outside the box and taking risks, right? You never accomplish anything if you just play it safe. Like, I don't love the Alabama, Penn State, like, we're gonna play the same, we're gonna wear the same uniforms we've worn for 100 years. I like pushing the envelope to an extent. I don't know what to do with it. Like, if you were going to wear it against Fordham, week 2, at home, like to sell some extra jerseys, great. Go for it. Like maybe it'll even make a highlight on SportsCenter, or otherwise it might not have. Maybe they give you more love, they give you more time. And then if it comes kind of, and it comes a debate, you are 100% right. If they wear this on the road against Oklahoma and get beat, then you become a mockery. And you don't ever want to become that. Like, and it cost... Remember Butch Jones at Tennessee when he had the garbage can?
Yeah.
Like, that became a meme on the internet, and then then people look at your program differently. Like, you become a joke. I don't know if it's that serious, and again, it has to go with who they play against is real. You got to consider the source. Not even verified, not even a blue check mark. You know, if the guy's Twitter handle is Tattoo Baker.
I don't think
that's not him? He's not the original?
I don't know if he's the originator of this deal. I mean, I've seen it across a lot of different feeds. I've even seen chat. I mean, I got on a search this morning. I was on like an hour. I'm trying to run this down. I'm like, no, this cannot be real.
That's not him? He's not the original? Who they play against is real. You got to consider the source. Not even verified, not even a blue check mark. You know, if the guy's Twitter handle is Tattoo Baker.
I don't think
that's not him? He's not the original?
I don't know if he's the originator of this deal. I mean, I've seen it across a lot of different feeds. I've even seen chat. I mean, I got on a search this morning. I was on like an hour. I'm trying to run this down. I'm like, no, this cannot be real. I mean, chat rooms, various things. I mean, there's a lot of
much like conference realignment. Until you see somebody who has a reputation that you can trust and works for a company that you can trust, I'm not believing it.
Okay.
I'm not believing it.
Well,
although we've seen wild uniforms before. Remember the Gators wore the There's actually a couple now. It says who has the worst college football uniforms. I was looking at those, and Nebraska is obviously one of the options. These new leotard, little red uniforms. Like the Gators had one that didn't have anything much orange and blue on them at all, and it was like crocodile, but the crocodile wasn't even green. It was like gray. It was one of the weirder uniforms I've ever seen. But at least it was like, I don't know, the little red thing behind him is throwing me off. Because Little Red's already kind of a goofy mascot. Like, it's kind of throwing me off.
The helmet is just red. What if that would have been just like a piece of cord, like an ear cord? Well, that would have really just I think that would really just sent me spinning into outer space. Again, this is no different than if one of my friends had a big moment in his life and he shot me a picture like, yo, we're rolling out in this. I'd be like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I might rethink that decision. So again, as you mentioned, not verified, but if this little red alternate uniform is real, this is my plea as a friend. I appreciate you guys. Don't do that.
Did you have say now?
No.
We had, for the uniform combos, Did you have any say at Oklahoma? Because now that's a thing, right? They have the senior councils and the coaches will say, all right, which of the 87 combinations would you guys like to wear this week? That is a thing at some programs. It wasn't for ours. The seniors could go in to Coach Bowden and say, hey, we really want to wear like these new garnet pants or whatever it was. And then it was up to Coach Bowden, and occasionally he would do it. But Coach Bowden was kind of superstitious, too, because I remember there was Nike had put in a lot of money into some uniforms, and we were 3 consecutive losses in the certain combo, and Coach Bowden was like, nope, we're never wearing that one again. But I was curious, because that is a thing at a lot of schools, is that you have to say. So I'm wondering in Nebraska if there was a reveal, if the players, surely they could boycott this, but maybe they thought they were sweet. Like, maybe we're too old and out of touch, and this is what the kids are looking for nowadays.
You said maybe they look better from a distance, the old good from far, far from good line.
I didn't even realize that's what I was going with, but that is what I was going with.
That's exactly what you were going with. I love it. And that may not be true words, may not have ever been spoken. I just don't even know from far if these would turn out good. But we had I remember we got to wear just a couple of alternative uniforms. Coach Stoops was pretty, now this is back before there was a lot of alternative uniforms. I mean, Oregon was doing it then. I mean, everybody had a variation, and maybe it was just a different color pants or But we were a throwback in the opener in '03, and it was like an homage to the '50s team, and that was sweet. It was like a white helmet with a red stripe, very plain, very basic. My one of my regrets from college that year, they gave us the opportunity to buy those jerseys at the end of the year, just at what they paid for them. I didn't, and they wound up auctioning those off. I would give anything to have that all uniform. But like for us, it was like, this is Oklahoma's uniform. We're not going to divert. We're not going to change. We're going to be us. I remember, I think it was my junior year, Coach let us wear black cleats, and that was like doing it big. Before that, it was just white cleats. We got to throw those black cleats on. I felt faster. I looked cleaner. I mean, that was a big deal. But we never had say-so and what uniforms we were going to wear because we just wore our plain uniforms. Now, Danny, I mean, every school in the country's got probably at least 20 to 25 variations. I'm wondering, it doesn't bother me. Like I do like traditional uniforms. I like every now and again. I like when we see people, kind of like we did, pay homage to the past. And, I think there's some really cool older uniforms. But even the newer age stuff, some of them is like, I don't know. But they don't really bother me. Whatever. If kids think they look good, they need the swag. I get it. But to fans, you think fans, like all these alternative uniforms, that bother them? Or do they embrace that and enjoy it kind of like a lot of these players do?
I mean, let's be real. All of this is done so you can sell another option. And I do think the hardcore fan would say, I got to have that as part of my Nebraska collection, my Oklahoma collection, my Florida State collection. I have all these jerseys. I want to get the latest one. I don't know if this one would be, I don't know what the sales would be on this one, but then it comes a point because you almost think it's so bad that you have to have it because maybe it'll be a collector's item one day. I would say, remember that one. Like, remember how bad that one is. You're like, yep, I got it. I have it in my collection. So that's what it's always about. It's always about the jersey sales. And that's what, once again, trying to have another option for fans to go purchase. Again, the helmets, I don't know about you, but my helmet, for the first month that I wore it, I get this really bad bump, like red spot. And so when I finally got my helmet broken in, I didn't want to wear another helmet. Like, if we had multiple helmets, which we didn't, but now every school does, they have 2 or sometimes 3 helmets that they wear. I'd be like, no, I don't want to switch helmets. Mine's nice and broken in. But I guess if you broke multiple helmets in during camp, it would help a little bit. But, man, it seems like a lot of hassle just to look good. But, hey, sometimes fashion hurts, That's my wife tells me those 4-inch heels that she wears out on the weekends.
I'll never understand.
Pay the price.
I'll never understand that. Man, some of the pain that women put themselves through with the shoes that they wear. I'm completely with you. And what's the old saying as well? Look good, play good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look good, play good. I'm sorry, Nebraska. There's no way them dudes, like you said, walk into the mirror before the game like, yeah, we're doing it if they're rocking those little red uniforms. There is no way at all. But, I also just kind of wondering if you'd like to chime in, 888-573-5335. Do fans, do they like all the alternative uniforms, or do you like your traditional uniforms that you've known to grow and love over the years? You can chime in if you'd like, 888-573-5335. We had big news out of the state of Alabama.